Good morning, White Mountain Apache Tribe and all viewers watching all over Earth. Today is October 24. It's about 68 degrees here at North Fork, Arizona, where I live. I'm under the front porch here, and the skies are overcast today. We're expecting a storm tomorrow night, and it should be lasting for a few days. So we have a couple of very special guests on the program today. But before we go there, let's welcome the Honorable Chairwoman Gwendena Lee-Gatewood.
Hey, good morning.
Good
How are you?
morning. Good. Is it breezy up top at Honda?
Yeah, it's getting chilly here. I almost built the fire, but I'm like, nope, I'm gonna save my wood. Good morning, Rayvon.
Okay.
Good morning. He's saying good morning there, Rayvon.
All right. Well,
He always has the best attitude.
Whew, boy, it's been a wild morning here. I thought I got up early and I thought things were going to be set, but I just barely made it on the program today, so forgive me on that. But Chairwoman, we have a couple of very special guests here, and let's welcome. You want to introduce our first guests that we have today?
Yes, we have Representative O'Halleran. He's currently the U.S. representative representing the 1st District of Arizona, which includes the Fort Apache Indian Reservation. He currently sits on the House Committee on Energy and Commerce and the Committee on Agriculture. And he has been here in the past to do tour visits. And he is currently, I'm not sure if he's in Sedona, but let's welcome Congressman O'Halleran.
All right. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Chairwoman. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you, sir?
I'm doing pretty good. It's a beautiful day here. Not as windy as where you're at.
Well, good. I'm so glad.
So thanks for having me on. Really appreciate it.
I really appreciate it. And I'll start off with a question. As you are aware, Arizona tribes, and specifically White Mountain Apache and Navajo, have been hit by COVID-19 really hard. There was some funding in the CARES Act for tribes, and we appreciate your advocacy on those funds. Could you tell our viewers what you believe the prospects are for another COVID-19 package? And on top of that, I wanted to extend a little further. It looks like we're looking at a second wave, and we're supposed to expend our funds by December. What could you do to, or what should we expect if it's going to move into 2021, or will it just be December and that's it?
Well, on that issue, I've already introduced the bill to extend it for 2 years. The current negotiations include that bill over the second CARES package, and that bill will have 1 year extension, and then we'll work for the second year. I believe that you should be able to keep that money indefinitely, just as have across our district and across our nation, been able to go from a loan to a grant, to an extension of those grants. There is no reason why you should not be able to have the same abilities as others do. Secondly, we want to make sure that we get this current resolution done. I am concerned, very concerned, that the second CARES package has been in negotiation now for over 2 weeks, and then a little bit before that, and before that, it was months since the majority leader in the Senate, Senator McConnell, wanted to negotiate. And now, as they are negotiating today, the Senate majority leader has come out and said 2 days ago that he doesn't want to address it until after The elections. Elections have nothing to do with this issue. That's a political issue. The life and death and caring of our families and our loved ones is a primary issue. And we have to address that now, not later. And in the CARES Act, what we all did, we did it in a bipartisan way, which I agree with, that we need to do that now for the sake of the American people. We are in a terrible spike right now nationwide, 84,000 positive cases, a new record for all of this pandemic. On one day, we are very concerned looking down the path. As we did in the original CARES Act, we are trying to get $20 billion from our perspective into the CARES Act for tribal nations. Right now, we don't know where that's at because we know that the Senate and the administration want to do, we don't know what they want to do with that. I know the first time around, we asked for $20 billion. They had zero there, and we were able to bring that up to $8 billion in a final negotiation. And that is what's come to help the people, the White Mountain Apache, and all the other tribes within and across the nation. I have another bill that's before Congress that is asking for us to be able to take the estimate by the Indian Health Services of $2.86 billion and use that for sanitary across tribal lands also. And so this is going to be a continuing process, and we were going to be at this for some time. Always money for vaccine. We've always had money for therapeutic drugs, the development of those, and we've always had money in there for testing and tracing. Right now, we have $9 billion sitting in the fund for testing, and it's just not being used. I hope that helps you with the question and the answer.
Thank you. Jerry, would you like to ask the question to the Congressman?
Yes, thank you, Congressman. There is that deadline that the chairwoman alluded to earlier, and some of the people have asked our leadership. As you mentioned, there is a rise in numbers here and Arizona and nationwide, and it's hard to predict the future. And so a common person here asks our leaders, well, suppose something happens drastically where we return back to this major outbreak, and having these funds expended already in December just kind of poses, it's just like starting all over again. It'll take some time for the funds, new funding, if it were to be passed, to be coming back. And so in that light, I just wanted to say thank you for introducing the bill to extend the deadline. But the question I wanted to ask is, one of the greatest challenges here facing White Mountain Apache tribe is the lack of law enforcement. We have a high crime rate, and we have a limited number of law enforcement officers. We do get by fairly well, but it's definitely causes a lot of stress on our officers. And so I wanted to say, on our reservation of our size, this creates a number of significant problems. And in fact, we just had one of our officers killed in a line of duty this year. And there have been efforts to defund the police, but in places like White Mountain Apache tribe, we need more law enforcement, not less. Your thoughts on that, sir?
Well, first of all, Jerry, the death of that law enforcement officer is terrible. I'm a former law enforcement person. His wife and his family, I met them. I presented. We were at the ceremonies for his funeral and services, and I just why he died was just a terrible circumstance with that kind of a domestic disturbance along the highway there. So yes, there's a critical need. And as we've talked to the chief a couple of times, we know that the size and scale of the White Mountain Apache's lands are tremendous. Over 100 million acres, I believe, and to have the few people that I've met have to address that scale is just inadequate, and that is across all of Indian country, whether it's White Mountain or others. But your critical nature is your department is really small, and your correctional facility needs work. And we were just there, as you may know, Jerry. We were just there a few days ago to look at the facility. Housing is an issue. We were just there to address that. That was in the CARES Act also. We are asking for that to be in the next CARES Act to be able to address the housing issues on tribal lands. There are tremendous amounts of other services that are in that act that we've been trying to get through since May. That bill passed out of the House of Representatives in May of this year. And we're still trying to get it through the United States Senate. There are negotiations with the administration. So I'm hopeful, but we have to realize the critical nature of this to protect our family, our children, our children in schools. The bill contains $125 billion to help rebuild schools that need to be rebuilt, get in ventilation systems that work, identify the need for work in this environment, and continue that into the future. So this is a very difficult process that we're going through. We hope that these negotiations complete soon. We are close, but there's no reason why it takes government so long to get help out to our people.
Good. Yes, and so there's Chairwoman. Okay, Chairwoman.
I also wanted to ask, the Indian Health Service and medical care for tribal communities, which the United States promised to provide Native American tribes in exchange for millions of acres of land. IHS is funded at 40%, at less than 40% of what it needs. What can be done to address issues like that? Because in a time like COVID-19, when there's no vaccine, there's no cure, and this virus is moving around, what can be done to address that shortfall? And our local Indian Health Service facility is in desperate needs of beds. I'm just looking forward to when we can see the beginning of the building of the new hospital here. So your response.
Thank you, Chairwoman. Thank you, Chairwoman. We have seen over the last 4 years, every budget that's been put out by the administration has cut Indian Health Services. We have not only not allowed that cut to happen, way below where it needs to be. And so having seen what's going on, and as you know, about the way that Indian Health Services initially addressed the pandemic, and not only on White Mountain, but on Navajo and Hopi and other tribal lands, we have asked specifically for an investigation to critique the type of work that's done, to review the entire process of Indian Health Services, identify why we're at this point, and that investigation is ongoing now. That's already been requested, and the committee I'm on is the Committee of Jurisdiction in Health Services, and so we are trying to identify why people would want to cut a program that needs more funding, critical funding for tribal nations, and why Indian Health Services' response to this pandemic in the initial stages was not as coordinated as it should. And we want to try to fix that, and we're trying to fix that now. There is additional money in the current negotiations, billions of dollars to assist IHS. There was money in the initial CARES Act, billions of dollars to assist IHS. We got that approved. We need to get the other $2 to $3 billion approved, so that as quickly as possible. And the struggles that we've gone through here during the early stages of this pandemic are not replicated as we continue down this road.
Okay, thank you. We at the tribe want to thank you for your efforts on the detention facility and water settlement, and the way your office has worked in a bipartisan way with our delegation to advance the tribe's interest in such a divided country in this political environment at this time. How would you work with the Republicans to make sure the tribe's needs are met and not caught up in partisan politics?
Well, I appreciate that. I disagree with sometimes with my fellow friends on the other side of the aisle, but I work with them a lot. 87% of the bills that I either sponsor or co-sponsor are bipartisan bills. I am ranked in the Congress, bipartisan member of Congress, and this by the Senator Lugar Institute, or at Georgetown University. It's the preeminent way of identifying bipartisanship in Congress. In Arizona, I'm the top bipartisan member. So I want to work with everybody, because you can't have a process in Congress that you don't try to find common ground. Whether it's Congress, business, within communities, finding common ground is a requirement. And the committee I work on, we just recently passed, since June, over 57 bills bills out of that committee. Which I worked on my first term, same thing. And the Agriculture Committee that I am currently also on is the same process. And that's some of the reasons why we've been so successful in Indian Country and across Congressional District 1 on addressing these problems.
Okay, thank you, sir. We'll give you time now to do your, Jerry, go ahead. I think you have
just real quick. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, Chairwoman, I'm sorry. And on that note, on bipartisanship, I see here that you recently wrote a letter to the Senator Sienema and Senator McSally. So thank you for doing that. And that really does go a long way. You were here last Friday, and you visited 4 sites here. Each of those, I went to 3 of them. I had to leave, but I see the energy from our people wanting to meet you, and you have been visible here at the tribal parades during our tribal fair and rodeo, which is the biggest celebration of the year. So just wanted to say thank you for that before you do your closing comments. So I guess the last question is, with a few 10 days remaining until election day, maybe we have some viewers that are right in the middle here. You want to reach out to them, say what you want to say as closing?
Well, first of all, I thank Jerry, Chairwoman, thank you very much. It's been an honor to represent the people of the White Mountain Apache. I've enjoyed it thoroughly. Today was my 3rd visit to the authority, and there's money in this bill, by the way, to help address some of those issues, and we have to continue on. We have worked diligently, I know, that within the process to collaborate with the tribe and others, and to make sure we address some major issues facing tribal nations, not only in Arizona, but across the nation. I'm looked upon as one of the leaders on tribal issues in Congress, and I expect to continue down that path into the future. Representing you has been a complete educational process, a joy. My wife and I have always enjoyed going up to the tribal lands and White River and into the forest, and the potentially new housing development up there that I'm really excited about, and to be able to try to help out as much as we can with the law enforcement issues and the other many issues that you're facing. And we continue to go on a path of collaboration and for people Apache.
Thank you very much, sir. We appreciate the time. We know you're a busy man, and thank you so much for joining us this morning on Saturday's show. I really appreciate it. Thank you, and have a safe day, and give your wife our best. Thank you.
Will do. Thank you, Chairwoman.
Wow, that was really, really good. Chairwoman, very outstanding. Last week you had Senator Martha McSally and candidate for Senate Mark Kelly. That was pretty good. It gave a lot of people a chance to weigh in, and get a chance to actually see firsthand and hear their words. And so very remarkable that you're able to reach out to high-profile leaders in the United States of America. So I know we have another guest, and I'll give you the honor of introducing her.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. This morning we have Tiffany Shedd. Ms. Shedd is an attorney and farmer and is running for the U.S. House of Representatives to represent the 1st Congressional District, which includes the Fort Apache Indian Reservation. And we would like to welcome Tiffany Shedd.
Thank you so much, Chairwoman Gatewood and Jerry. I appreciate the opportunity to chat with you this morning. I wish I was up there.
Well, good morning. I like that photo of that. Is it a steer right behind
Yeah,
you?
it's a little Hereford cow. We run some cows, and so I have an affinity. I've got I think 4 cow pictures in my office here. So
I'm a cowgirl myself, and I just love cattle and horses. So I'm like, wow, she's got a photo of that.
it was an obsession.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for joining us. I know you're busy, and we'll start off with the questions that we asked prior. As you are aware, Arizona tribes, and specifically the White Mountain Apache tribe and the Navajo tribe, have been hit very hard by COVID-19. Congress has passed a number of COVID-19 relief packages and is currently attempting to negotiate another package with the administration. Would you support another COVID-19 relief package, and specifically more funding for Indian tribes?
Absolutely. So interestingly enough, my husband and children actually use Indian Health Services at Gila River. They're in Muskogee Creek, and my daughter's a type 1 diabetic. And so we're right in the middle of IHS. But, I think what's upsetting to me is we haven't passed anything since May. And people are hurting, and it's not really about an arbitrary deadline of when you spend the money or when you get it. It's about when people still need it. And what if I was the congressman right now, what I would be advocating for and arguing for with what's up in the House of Representatives, which is the HEROES Act that Tom was referring to, is that act actually gives direct payments, stimulus payments of $1,200 to illegal aliens. I would much rather see that money come to Indian country, to our Arizona tribes, which have been hit particularly hard. As to Indian Health Services, I mean, it's a terrible situation what's happened with the pandemic, but let's just be honest, it's been underfunded forever. And this is something that was promised by treaty. I remember when the Affordable Care Act was rolled out, there was talk about getting rid of Indian Health Services and rolling it into that system, which was absolutely terrifying. If my daughter had to get her insulin outside of Gila River, we wouldn't be able to afford it. She's insulin dependent. And so it's kind of one of those things of, while I've personally seen what happens with the underfunding of IHS, which was bad enough before COVID, and now it's just, become critical mass. I would like to see that system built up so that next time there is a pandemic, not just slap a Band-Aid on it, get us through. And of course, I believe in more funding for Indian country, for not only IHS, for infrastructure, for water, for things that allow people to, manage, whether that's rural broadband, running water, the different issues. But it's really important to me, after having, been in that system for over 20 years, to see it at parity of what the treaty said. And it's been forgotten until there's a huge problem. And maybe we can use this problem that we're having with COVID to highlight that this needs to be fixed. I was super honored to have the endorsement of Congressman Tom Cole. He's one of 4 Native Americans in Congress. He's Chickasaw. I also have the endorsement of Mark Wayne Mullen, Congressman from Oklahoma. He actually represents my husband's tribe. He's Cherokee, although my husband's Muskogee Creek. And the reason that they've come out and helped me is because they know that, my children are Native American. My family uses IHS, like we're dependent on it, even though we're off reservation, and that I will be a full partner with them in trying to fix the problems that are in Indian country, not just for the next 6 months, but finally fix what's going on for the last 100 years.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, our funding level, it's at less than 40% of need. And when you're in a pandemic like this and there's no cure, the vaccine, they're having troubles right now. Indian country, our voices matter. And thank you for answering that question. Jerry, my co-host, would like to ask you some questions too. So we'll give him some time. Jerry.
Good morning. Good morning, ma'am. Nice to meet you and see you. Best wishes in the upcoming election. I was just reviewing our positive cases on a daily rate here. So on last Friday, we were at 40. And then on Saturday, we gained 7, so 47. Sunday, 54. Monday, 63. Tuesday, 74. And then on Wednesday, 91. And as of yesterday, we had 98. So it is very concerning. My question is, Indian country and rural areas especially have historically had less access to medical care and are some of the hardest hit areas by the coronavirus, like ours here. If elected, how would you work to ensure that when a vaccine is distributed, that it will be readily available to hard hit communities like ours and other communities here in Arizona and Indian country?
Thank you for that question. Indian country and also actually my hometown of Eloy are some of the biggest hotspots that have been hit. And, the access to healthcare, it isn't just, oh, geez, I have to drive a little bit further to get to healthcare. But when you see the cases jumping, on the Apache reservation, Navajo, or even just rural Arizona, the problem is we don't have the hospital beds. We don't have the facilities to take those. And so oftentimes people are air evac'd, the Sirius to Phoenix or Tucson. And the problem with that is, we often lose people in that time transition. And that's even without COVID. You just don't get care as quickly as someone that lives in, Phoenix does. And so, as to vaccines, the fact of the matter is I've lived in this district almost my entire life since I was 7 years old. And my family's felt these issues. We deal with the same thing. I almost lost my daughter because we couldn't get access to healthcare when she got type 1. By the time she got to Phoenix Children's, she only had a 5% chance of living. And so, I think there's nobody that it's going to fight harder or advocate that all of our people have the same access to life-saving drugs, to healthcare, to vaccines, to protective equipment, to, drugs that, are life-saving as we keep finding these, before there's a vaccine, than I am, because my family's at risk as well. It's funny, we actually have spent some of our best times as a family on your reservation. We have a house in Pine Top. We fish at A1, ski at sunrise, fish at sunrise. I literally raised my kids up there. And so I always tell them, if you break an arm, I'm sorry, but you're not going to Pine Top, you're going to White River. But, the thing is that's still a long way. And you just kind of realize when your family's in that system. And so, rural people matter, just their lives matter just as much as those in Phoenix. The problem is we don't have a strong voice. And, I don't know about you, but as a mom, sometimes I won't advocate for myself, but for my children, I will go all out and do anything I can to make sure that they have health care, to make sure that they have educational opportunities. And I think you don't even realize, I didn't realize it when I married my husband 30 years ago that, I loved him. I didn't marry him because he was Native American. I just married him because he was cute. And, I really liked him. And he is really cute. He's aged well. He's really cute. But the thing is you realize all of a sudden when you get into this and your kids are in Indian Health Services, when you look at the Arizona history, and we were teaching our children about their culture, and we've taken them to Oklahoma to be proud of that because it's a culture of strength and survival. Their tribe was the Trail of Tears. But you also realize no one in my family except for me would have been able to even vote in this state until 1948. Not even have a vote. We're talking about votes today. None of it. I would have been the only person. That's just heartbreaking to me. And so, we finally got a voice for Indian country through our votes, but we need a strong voice for Indian country in Congress. I can promise you I will be that voice. This isn't, I suddenly care because I'm running for Congress. I'm all in. And so, it's unacceptable. We need to make sure that we're getting the vaccines. We need to make sure that we're making up for the lack of funding that's been there for infrastructure, for healthcare, for education, all of it. It's past time that we keep our treaties. If it was a foreign country, we'd be keeping the treaty. These are sovereign nations. We need to honor the treaties as the United States government, period.
Good.
Thank you very
Chairwoman.
much for that. The next question that I have is, one of the greatest challenges facing our tribe is a lack of law enforcement of a reservation this size. This creates a number of significant problems. We've had a young officer die earlier this year, and there have been efforts to defund the police. But in places like the Fort Apache Indian Reservation, we need more law enforcement officers. How would you go about securing more resources and law enforcement officers for the tribe? That is a really big concern amongst our people. It's a question that I get almost every day.
Well, first of all, I'm not forever defunding the police, and rural Arizona, and especially tribal land, there's other tribes as well that have very underfunded, undermanned police departments. And, I don't think people realize when you live far away and, it's 25 minutes, an hour or longer sometimes until an officer can get there. And see, that's another problem I had with the current act that's going through that's supposed to be about COVID relief. It actually moved $600 million in grant funding for police to other things like those direct payments to illegals. And to me, we need to be funding more. And one of the problems is rural Arizona's police departments fall through the cracks. But then secondly, as far as receiving grants, because they're not big enough and they're not small enough. And so a lot of our communities have this problem. But specifically for the tribes and on the reservation, again, that is part of the promise of the treaties that these are funded. And frankly, it's harder to get officers to move to rural Arizona anywhere. And so we need to make sure that we have the funding to be able to pay people to attract good officers, that they're not, being paid so little because we have so little in our coffers that, they're qualifying for, SNAP payments and food stamps as full-time employees. And so, again, it just seems like it's the lack of focus, honest to goodness, if this was going on in Virginia or Maryland or Michigan or Illinois, this would be making the nightly news. But because it's on tribal lands, because it's in rural Arizona, it's like it doesn't exist. It literally blows my mind. And so I would advocate, run bills, do anything I can to get more funding for our tribes, for law enforcement, for rural Arizona, for law enforcement. I mean, my goodness, we all live in the United States of America. People should have a basic, to live safely in a nation of laws, that they're enforced, and not have these things happen where we've got officers going out to situations, especially where they maybe shouldn't be going out alone. and without the backup, and these tragic things happen, but also the tragic things happen to the people that they're trying to protect because they're run so thin. And so, add this to the terrible laundry list of things that have been neglected for far, far too long.
Thank you. The other question that I have is, to the extent that the tribe has had legislative success, it's because our representatives have worked in a bipartisan manner. How would you work with the other side to ensure that the needs of the White Mountain Apache tribe are met and they're not caught up in partisan politics?
Well, I will work with anyone that's good for Arizona One, period. And that, including the tribes, obviously is a huge part. It's over 22% of the population in Arizona One is Native American. And so, I've never been in politics. I'm not a lifelong politician. I wasn't, in state legislature. I literally have devoted my life to rural Arizona. I've raised my family here. We're fourth generation farmers here. Even our vacation spot is in Arizona One, up in the White Mountains. And, the people I am accountable to are in rural Arizona. They're not in Washington, D.C. or anyone willing to do the right thing and put aside politics for Arizona One, I'm happy to work with. Now, I just do have to rebut something my opponent said earlier. He talks about being bipartisan. He's 97%. He votes 97% with Nancy Pelosi, who is the current Speaker of the House from San Francisco. And that's fine, but own that. But I can tell you, I will very unlikely vote that high of a percentage with my party, because I want to make sure that I'm voting in the Arizona One caucus. I don't care about bipartisan or numbers or who gives me an award. What I care about is delivering results to rural Arizonas, to our tribes, and Arizona One. I've lived here my whole life. My bones will be buried in Arizona dirt. My family's here. My kids are here. My son's in law school on a Native American scholarship studying Indigenous people law. And I'm fully committed. We have full skin in the game. And so I'm happy to work with people to get things done. And I'm also happy to pressure them and twist their arms to get things done for Arizona One. Carrot or stick, it doesn't matter, preferably carrot.
Very good. I think we lost Chairwoman. Well, anyway, Ms. Shedd, outstanding answer. We have White Mountain Apache Tribe has had a very good history in working with all of our state and national leaders of Arizona, governors, the late John McCain, Mr. Flake, John Kyle, all of the representatives of from the House, and so we appreciate that. And so, should you be the next elected Congresswoman, we look forward to working with you. That's just how White Mountain Apache Tribe is. We have worked with all leaders all the time. So thank you. Best wishes. Chairwoman, are you back?
Can you see me?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Well, thank you for joining us. With the reason why I wanted to bring candidates on the show was to give our tribal members an opportunity, one, to meet them on the show, learn more about them, and then also be an informed voter. It's very important to get your education, to know for yourself in your heart what you're going to stand for and how you're going to vote, and that's an honor that we have. And like you mentioned, our people were not allowed to vote not too long ago, and now we have this voice, and we need to put it to work. And thank you so much, and good luck, and ride a horse for me today.
I will. And Chairwoman, thank you so much for the enlightening your citizens, for empowering them to make good decisions. You're a rock star on that, so thank you.
You have a good day. Thank you so much.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, Chairwoman, pretty good. Uh, yeah, we have had a very good relationship, very fortunately, from our past leadership here at White Mountain Apache Tribe to work with other past leaders of the governor and U.S. Senate and House of Representatives and Navajo County, all of them. So we want to continue that tradition. And so excellent in putting this all together.
Yeah,
All right,
thank you.
Chairwoman. Yes. Yesterday was a very busy day. Oh, I am sore, both of them. But anyway, we only moved about 1,650 boxes that weighed about maybe 30 pounds. Only 1,650 to tribal people. We load them up, and boy, the ones that have the pickup trucks that their tailgates don't work, that means, oh, I'm putting it in there. So anyway, we did it. We did good yesterday. We passed out, if I recall, a gallon of milk, bag of potatoes, bag of apples, carrots, yogurt, all kinds of dry goods. And so we had a distribution in downtown White River yesterday, and it was a pretty big success. It's good to see families that are in need have that big $1 million smile, because they really appreciate that. And so that was another feather in your hat, if you will. And so thank you for doing that. I wanted to ask you what's going to happen in the future with more of these food distributions, because I hear you made a good arrangements with some donors.
Yeah, we're gonna be doing these food distributions for the rest of the week through Halloween, and you'll have the opportunity to get these boxes, food boxes, and we are going to be in at the 7 Mile store on Monday. So I want to thank our enterprise director Edwin Kane for rounding up some extra help. The boxes are heavy. And I want to thank the crew and the church missionaries that helped us yesterday. It was a very busy day, and I had to handle a gaming call that lasted up until noon, and and then get on the radio to do the daily EOC update for the EOC. And it was just a very busy day, and a lot of cars came through. And when these food distributions happen, sometimes people can't get to them. So when a neighbor is, hey, I'll get you a box, we're willing to allow that, because one, that helps get the food box to the community member. Two, you're doing your neighbor a good gesture. Three, we have an opportunity to serve a little bit more of our tribal members, and we're going to be doing this for the rest of the week, and doing what we can to get you the delivery of the food. And I want to thank the EOC. They've done a phenomenal job. Jonathan Brooks and his crew, they came over, loaded up, and we have no problem with them doing that, because they also need to deliver food to the families that are in quarantine right now. And our numbers have spiked some, and we have those families in quarantine. So we are looking for food donations, and very thankful that we could partner up with Shamrock Foods. I want to thank Deborah from Shamrock, who, she was right away willing to work with us and help us to see this through. So always so important to, do what we can, and every little bit helps. Granted, it's not a giant, grocery box, but at least it'll get you through. And I'm very, very happy with that. Di chian tara ildio the last Monday o goriga tana da koya executive building os aya chilwoju ako tarasan di ni 1,600 food boxes hayubel itak Niniti Mandio 7 Mile store Yudalet Edwin Kane enterprise director Ashoratala ako han ako icharaudi sa ako kodole shistio ebichi ako sa aran eoroles ebikero Tuesday we ate abanaw chit dog o to dog o Halloween je arashte do lesla every day truck no hanal go o dini a inde bich o di hibiwa arasht inila no hi la handi dawa bich o di concession dini tatahaya the kui binil aya di ko to ko big inada ichtiki out ye EOC ndi Jonathan Brooks ke partner da iziki ako sa atene iton which aroudi pisto handa niska saya nas ta pisto diki yani cheda yecheda ispansto ba keransi di katye kan stihi han berat taki no atak anana za hola the the tehen bi ko se obanaw chi in iroha akautsara awadaitis no hi no hik ehola hayonaral kayo no ikantaral keso masnik and han bishkasen zid bis bishkasen talayo ana the son akaut eleyo that go yo to ha era golzel no which ya itini ya era go no he okahi no he da ke din de na the sky ye which os ahi da wara tsan the until ni go stan bi ka bara of ka di ka hi ke shin na de everyone di chin de sto distribute ko yoshiki ko bawjatas ako da shiftin iti congressman hat ibiwa bich SC hibiwa the Queen cares or Josh Lindy Guando hat el Kori Shata, ye ekalto sayo, Nation Flockney, Dichi, Dini a ako, she okahi ko basa dishta o adishti, Loretta and Oswin case Loretta Skano, Shiki at Shika Anli, Dini. Nand Angelini Yaslea do Hara one pitch in the Ara the Tehesound Nakin Flocknbe Dichi shock out Diniti Ani Congressman at Yako no how to Suki how no which it was I which Hanana see he be wati able to dash let the left stop Dini Jerry you better be prepared for next week but I don't mind if the staff if we switch off just to give a group a break because those boxes were heavy so if we switch off that's okay so but I'm very grateful Edwin Kane was able to round up some good number of help for Monday so
yeah, I noticed a lot of people saying is that you, Jerry? Like, yeah, I had the headband and face mask, so it was hard that my hair was all so I still got the COVID hair yet. I'm really seriously considering getting a haircut. So I don't know. We'll see. But I do have a tremendous respect all over America and all over the world on people that all they do is this, where they worry about getting a batch of food, unloading it, planning, and then reloading it for the people to get, and then boom, and then do it again, and then again, then next month again. And we just did it one time, like, man. And so that was tough. So really have high respect for them. Jonathan Lupi helped out, Ira Sanchez, Cairo Clay in the fair office. We all did well, and those three. Yeah, the three young elders.
Huh? Yeah, the CBQ elders, Chamberlain, Simpkins, and Day. They were very, very helpful. Yvette Yazi, Debbie Paxson. Everybody just came together. Erna was running errands back and forth though, but it is hard work, but we're up for it because we're helping the people. So.
Okay. Chairwoman, yesterday or the day before, I saw a layout of the Res Dogs calendar that you were promoting last week. It looks really cool. I guess evidently there were there was like a lot of entries, a lot of people trying to get their dogs in the calendar, and so there's only 12 months. And so we had to pick 12 photos, but Cairo Clay did an outstanding job. And so hopefully when that might be released? Oh, that's for 2021, huh?
Yeah, but I'm
Yeah.
sure people wanna give it as Christmas gifts,
Oh, yeah.
or birthday gifts. And
Yeah.
people are wondering, did my dog make the cut? I didn't want to be a judge. I did not want to be a judge. I gave it to a different group, and they're the ones that, wow, the leaves are coming down. But they're
Oh,
the
yeah.
ones that are doing that duty and the layout. I couldn't be more pleased. And there are some champ res dogs on that calendar, and they have. I asked Cairo to make sure their names are included, and it's I wish I should have asked for what's the one thing that you like about your dog that we could stick in there. But if we did that now, that they would know, hey, my dog made it, so well, we'll just do it as a surprise. And we might sell it for a few dollars, and the money that we make, I want it to go back to the Rocky Mountain Spotted Fever campaign, or even to help feed or take care of these other dogs that may have no owner. We see those, and that adds to the public health as well. We have to remember that.
Okay.
So looking forward to it.
Good morning, Cynthia Adgerson, wherever you are. I saw your thing there on the bottom. Good morning. So yeah, unfortunately, Professor, I don't think made the cut. Professor thinks he's a big, giant Rottweiler, pit bull, whatever, but he's just he's just a small guy, but he's a good watchdog. So anything he hears outside, he's gonna let us know. So anyway, he didn't make the cut. All right, Chairwoman, we'd have a rise in numbers. I mentioned earlier on last Friday it was 40, and then we gained 7, then we gained 7 more. We're now at 98 as of yesterday. I don't know about today, but the council met recently. And just briefly, I guess, quick overview, or all I can say is my people, my friends, my relations, wherever you are, McNary, White River, Sibique, Navajo, San Carlos, Phoenix, wherever you are, don't let your guard down. It might seem like things are fine and dandy, but again, you still don't know if that person walking towards you has it or not. The gas pump, the numbers that you put when you buy something with your debit card, just don't let your guard down. Always wear your face mask when you're going out. Wash your hands a lot. Avoid major gatherings. So, Chairwoman, back to you.
Yeah. I have today's dashboard results, Jerry. We are at 114 active, and we have 198 pending. Pending means we haven't, it's been taken down to Phoenix, but the facility has not worked on it. So we pray that the 198 are negative, but we have 114 positive. We've had 41 deaths, and the number of positive daily increase is now at 22. It used to be 1, now it's 22.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And the number of people we have tested since April 1 is 13,022. And of that, this is the good part, 10,147 have been negative. But just because you test negative doesn't mean you're going to be protected all the time. You have to take responsibility and wear your mask, wash your hands, stay socially distant. Saturday, October 24, be numbers layu 114 positive, 114 you that COVID-19. Ananwich nadanis na 41 distin the saa 8 bigwado jora ye iti how also kan kani jehi Taslaa kau iskadik o dayos tako stoho ayu natin nakihla stoho dabilso yu taslaa inay tahni karin natin nakihyun ya Asian sa 22 juk out awa ataw zitza hayo na jigayo the tehe hatiba chiki disinfectant wipes not on net leyon daro gas pump gas tight dish leyo san yira lichi on ya han niskai yilchi ekeroni pan chikedo ha nikan enste da leyo ni da ko ni che ya la awa da sek ejte hadaro hatiba chilchi ya da grocery cart de yan na chsti resek ejte jo bana tizi keson di ka na di hina daniskai para afka when you nasta da saye be that di quarantine adasa the end you know I honestly really want this broadband, Jerry, because I could imagine the students. I know of a college student who is quarantining because relatives had to quarantine and having to miss out on college classes because she doesn't have internet, and that breaks my heart. I it just we have to do this, and I'm glad we're starting to work on that we're getting a little more aggressive on it.
Yes. So just FYI on that broadband, Victor Velasquez, the director of housing, his office is spearheading sort of this major project of broadband to improve internet services throughout the reservation. And Mike Nasioma is his MVP, I guess. So he's running, but on the tribe side, he wants to have an identified person be the lead. I think it would be David Fish. It might be the most common thing that we can think about. But you and the council or whomever can make that decision. But they want to really take off full speed, and so people of White Mountain Apache Tribe can add that to your prayer lists. Okay, that this will go smooth and fast and without major hiccups. I think the only thing that might slow us down is weather, but otherwise, hopefully it's not us human beings tripping on our own and clogging up with disagreements or whatever, that we just go, 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 go. So broadband, we need it really bad.
Yes,
all right.
and with that broadband, this past council meeting, I'm very happy to report that the council allocated some funding so that could really, we're getting the boots on the ground on that. So
yes, that is good. So Victor does want to meet with you Wednesday morning. I'll just let the whole world know. I sat with him yesterday at the windshield place up the hill, and so we talked quite a bit. A lot of good talk we had. Halloween is next Saturday, and so that's not my birthday. My birthday's early October. Oh, by the way, speaking of birthdays, my baby, my little precious little angel, grown up now. She's almost about to graduate at ASU. Her birthday was this past Thursday. So just to her, Tyra, happy birthday to you. Sorry, I wasn't able to see you, but I know you're doing well. So
I have some birthdays. I have some birthdays that I want to recognize. Wendy Massey, October 24. Rosemary Quintero, October 24. Herbert Chi, Randy Massey, October 24. Raheem Lee, October 24. Rosemary Quintero, I guess they're twins. She's got a birthday today. Travis Webster, he has a birthday today. Regina Ann and Wayne Cole. Remember Wayne Cole?
Yeah.
Thank you. He's got a birthday today.
Travis,
man, huh? Travis Thomas was yesterday. Maybelline Riley was yesterday.
Wow.
Junior Burdette, Bethany Walker, May Riley, Ty Enfield, my neighbor.
Man,
His birthday was yesterday. Tim Cosen, and your office humor jokester Lolita Fall had a birthday
oh
2 days ago.
yeah,
Shame on
2 years
you.
ago.
She's gonna get after
Oh
you
man.
now. And Naranjo, Evelyn Paxson, Andrina Potter, Cynthia Burnett, Tayshawn Whitesinger, Raylene
Man,
Skidmore, Holly Beth, Taya DeClay, Debbie Gillespie. The names go
that's
on and on.
half of the White Mountain Apache tribe.
Yeah.
Wow, they all rock. That's why they call it Rocktober. So happy birthday. If your birthday's today, happy belated birthday if we just missed it. And happy birthday in advance if it's coming up really soon. So good, good, good. Next Saturday is Halloween. And if I recall, there's no Halloween parade for the Head Starters, and I don't think it's allowed tribal wide for trick or treating, right, Chairwoman? I don't know.
Right. The
Yeah.
EOC gave us guidance, and they're asking that families go to the lowest risk. And what that lowest risk was, carve pumpkins at home, bake cookies at home, have
Good.
a little household Halloween party at your house, but it's just your household, not the neighbors or Be careful at this time, because if kids go house to house, that risk goes up. If they're trick or treating house to house, that's not good, because
Okay.
you don't know, like you said, you don't know who's positive.
Right. Right. Okay. So just make footnote of that, people viewing today, and spread the word. If you already bought candy from the store, I guess think of something clever within your household. Okay. And but don't eat it all in one night like somebody does. Just kidding. Just kidding. I don't eat it
I
all in
wanted,
one
I
night.
wanted
I
to,
eat it in
I
2
wanted
nights. Huh?
I also wanted to let the public know that First Attendant to Miss White Mountain Apache is doing a spooktacular pumpkin carving contest.
All
So
right.
you need to send photos. She has age categories 16 and up, and then 0 to 15. Cash and prizes will be awarded to first, second, and third place. The deadline is October 27 at 3 o'clock. And her Facebook name is Mandy Growing Thunder on Facebook. Mandy Growing
I like
Thunder.
that name.
Yeah. And send her your carving photos. And she's got some excellent prizes. And that's something to look forward to, something to do with the family. Enter that pumpkin. And there you go. So that'll be good.
Chairwoman, I'm also aware that because we're almost about to close the show here, but we have friends at Navajo, and our Lando Teller faithfully watches the Saturday program with his mother. So his mother, Yate, and they are natives running for a major office of state leadership. And so I'm going to try to do this correctly. Yeah, they're right there, I guess. So keep them in mind. I didn't show the rest of it. I'm not trying to campaign, but it should be good to keep in mind our native leaders that will surely, do what they can to help out Indian country. So other than that, Chairwoman, I think the only thing I might have here is, oh yeah, I wanted to say the street lights in downtown White River.
Mhm.
Wow, looks nice. Did you see them yet?
Yeah,
Really super bright.
yeah, and that's needed. And Canyon Day, I remember that was in the works, but I know that little hill causes some issues, so I don't know if they got to work on that part. But those bright lights, we're we're very pleased with that. And thank you to our local DOT, Tara Chief and her crew there. It takes a lot of work to get things like that going. And I know McNary, I drive through McNary, and it would be great to get the community of McNary lights like that as well.
Yeah, a good idea.
Even residential communities, we need good street lights. And I am willing to go for solar, that powers it up. So we save on costs there. So that's something to look forward to.
So whoever's installing these or replacing these light bulbs, thank you very much. You doing a good job. Thank you, helping the community. Also, this morning when I had to go to the office to get printouts, I saw my fellow tribal employee neighbor here, Pearl Baja, and she was out picking up trash right from the little corner to the highway, that little stretch. 2 big bags already, and so, wow. So if you'd like to do that, bless you, bless your heart, keep doing that. And people out there, don't litter, please, don't litter. Roll down your window and just throw it out. Don't do that. That's not cool. So just try to keep Apache land beautiful. All right, Chairwoman, last week, Cardinals destroyed the Cowboys 38-10. And so I like that. Look at that background right under the letter G. I like that. Cool. Anyway, they're going to face the top team of NFC last year, Seattle Seahawks. It's a night game tomorrow night, 5:20 p.m. is the scheduled kickoff on NBC. And so I think this is going to be really close. In fact, the Cardinals could lose, but because it's at Phoenix, Glendale, Arizona, they're going to win. My prediction, Arizona Cardinals 24, Seattle Seahawks 21. Okay. All right. Back to you. So that's about it.
Yeah, that's I remember watching some parts of the game and then looking at, because I had my Facebook up, just taking some notes, and then I would see Councilman Beach doing his happy dance when the Cardinals would score, and I couldn't believe it. That game was something else. So it's good, and I can't believe right now baseball is the way it's on TV, and I'm like,
the World Series.
Yeah. So
Game 4 tonight here, so it's going to be a good one.
In some aspects, some of it's just not the same because the crowd, because of COVID, it's just been a little bit different. So,
when they show from the angle from the pitcher facing to the catcher, you see those fake box of people
that are like
and then they crank up the volume in the stadium to make it sound like, if one gets a hit. But yeah, I know it's kind of the same with everything, but it's been a game changer, this COVID-19, man, strange one. So anyway, also, Chairwoman, November 3rd is election day. It's already practically here, 10 days away until election. And I'm really sorry I'm not prepared about these propositions and the information about early voting. I know it started on October 7. When does it end? I don't want to give you misinformation. But I believe it's still open right now. So everyone should have gotten a ballot in the United States Postal Service mailbox. And so go check your mail. And if you want to vote by way of mail, you may do so. But otherwise, election day is 10 days, November 3. And happy voting. I guess I want to encourage all of you to vote. Believe it or not, 2 days ago or 3 days ago, someone said, when is election day? And like, what? So anyway, there's some people that just don't know.
And we have that ballot box. We have that ballot box outside personnel. Yeah. And is there any other ballot boxes?
Yeah, that's another option. A red, white, and blue ballot box is right by that street light in downtown White River, where you cross the street from the White River Lutheran Church and the White River Personnel Office. That's where one ballot box is. The other one is at CBQ Community Complex, right at the front. For those out of Gila County at Canyon Day, they are going to have a poll at the very least right there in Canyon Day. Where, it hasn't been determined as far as I know, but otherwise, if you're going to want to vote early, you have to either vote by mail or go to Globe and vote out there. But election day is coming, so you can vote at your precinct at Canyon Day. Last year, it was at the White River, or I'm sorry, Canyon Day Middle School, junior high school. So it probably most likely will be there again. All right, Chairwoman. I guess you can do the closing prayer if you don't. You have any other closing comments, remarks?
Just, voting is very important. If you did a mail ballot, thank you. If you haven't done it, please do it. Make sure you go out and vote and learn more about your candidates. It's always very good to get that informed voting. That's something that you can teach your kids, because throughout life, you're gonna have children that will be like they'll be adults. So there's Jerry holding up the ballot information there and how to
By
put
October 27, that's the
Yeah.
last day to vote early. Okay,
October
your ballot.
27th. Yeah. So remember those deadlines, and we're still in phase 2. We didn't do a lockdown. It came down to a council decision, and we're not doing a lockdown. So, but you control your household. What I mean by control is head of the house. Is it grandma? That you need to put your foot down with your family, and please, don't be visiting other people's homes and thinking that that's okay. Elders, we have to protect our elders. Please do all that you can to protect them. CORE is busy working with Wamatco Housing and all the other entities to build 50 shelter rooms for elderly, and they're going to be doing criteria on how that's going to work. So that's something that's very, very needed, and we want to protect our elders. Just they're so vulnerable, and we love them. They have historical knowledge. They're our link to the past, and we want to protect them. So do your part. Wash your hands. Wear your mask. Stay socially distant, and no handshaking, no hugging. That's something that we really need to abide by. And wherever you go, carry hand sanitizer. I carry hand soap and a gallon of water with me, and then I wash in the parking lot. My kids are like, "Hey, mom, Petita," but I'm like, "Hey, wash your hands." So, but that's important.
Chairwoman, it's supposed to rain tomorrow night. I was last on air on Wednesday, and I looked ahead into the forecast, and they were saying Sunday evening, 20% chance, and then all of Monday and Tuesday. And so those of you watching, you maybe want to cover your wood, chop it, cover it, put it under the porch, or bring it into the house, because it's going to get cold. On Tuesday, it's going to be right around the freezing point, 32 degrees, 31 degrees. I even saw one, I think your area, McNary, is going to be 28. It's going to get pretty cold on Tuesday. So precipitation's coming, some rain and snow showers. So get ready, everyone.
Yeah, very, very important. That means when we're delivering food or passing out food next week, we have to be prepared. We have to have our hats, our winter clothes, it sounds like.
We're going to get wet. Man, it's
We'll need to figure out how to do that.
the people can come in their cars, open a button, just push the button and the back thing will open. Also, after election day, it's all over. We can finally say yabba dabba doo. And November 7 is Pac-12 football. I have a friend of mine. He's a Wildcat. I don't know why, but he's a Wildcat. But anyway, I ask him every time, "Are you nervous? Are you nervous?" Meaning they're going to face ASU. And he says, "Yeah, I am." Just kidding. Just kidding. He's here. Just kidding, Chairwoman. Not to do that.
No problem.
Okay. Well, closing prayer, I guess. Let's
have our closing prayer, and I'll say it in my language. Ikahidan no hita di ashonda tala inde da dainis I dan dahian de statel di dainis I de bishda awi tahan minis I yinis I in de stop be want arrest I bishda al zi le yo hala dan zi to le be want a shonk na when sekti ni da shona be cut night ta da hajin still be cut night ta do les kachu ka nastihi nastihi out jessica sa ande bidaw tahyu bidarandin I nara zile ye dawahan how ye obijos I bishin le nigostan bikayo de teheyo anati ashore talani jaje don hanin ti na yanas gana Jesus Christ ebits ayat no hanaurit hibiwa no hanaurin da how ta dasen zile you na di ji hayo na hin slokyu na kayo no hin li do les inde hayo bara je tahli ein di stop bishin li do les it en ba je tahli still da go sanselinge da go big one ya bara li do les we wada ein di stop bishin li do les in a shock di hayo da kayo on a kahyo da want se guys ande bishin li do les big out dan shita ni go san ika da li in di stop a hehe a shon di tlok den journal ada di ein di stop no ka anla shashpi da wa ton li in sok da wa ba kenan si a hehe na ji no ika dan do les hayo na kayo na di ni je ba dan di ni jaje ki ni je kayo ni
Thank you.